Today's High Performance Podcast is brought to you by Phegan Digital. It's the only place to track and keep yourself accountable by looking at all of the essential numbers, from buyer appointments, market appraisals and listing appointments, to listings, sales and income, and working in 45-minute sessions. You'll find it all on Phegan Digital. Welcome to High Performance, the podcast featuring Josh Phegan and Alexander Phillips. Alexander, today we're going to talk about one of your favorite subjects, about like how to actually sell a house. I know this sounds a little bit funny, but sometimes people don't necessarily have the product knowledge of why people would pay more for a particular property or what makes a property worth more. Tell us a little bit about what an agent really needs to do to get great product knowledge.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for having me. I think a lot of agents seem to forget about having a pitch on a house and how to sell it, what the owners like about it, what they've put into it, why they've done what they've done. It's something that we've actually asked all our vendors on our WhatsApp chats is what they like about the house, what lifestyle, reasons they like about living there, which we can read at any point in time and actually even forward on to the buyers. So it's actually important that because there's a reason why they live there, which I'm sure will relate to most buyers, but you also need to have really good knowledge of the house itself. The land size, last traded, when it was renovated, the type of finishes, how wide the oven is, is it pool heated, does it have solar panels, what aspect is it, does it get winter sun, summer sun, what type of stones on the floor, they're all things that I think if you know all of that, and even if you're a little bit green to real estate or a little bit younger, and you might come across visually looking young, but if you can talk confidently about the house and what's in it and, what they love about it, that just automatically opens up the buyer and also builds rapport, and they feel comfortable. They feel like, this guy knows what he's talking about, that lady knows what they're talking about. So it's something that we make sure that we're across as much as we can. It's important.
Yeah, the interesting conversation is that I actually think that buyers will pay more for very specific things. And, when I was in the country and then moving to the city, I didn't realise that not every property had air conditioning because that was just a standard in the country. But yet you moved to Sydney, that wasn't necessarily the case. And then also too, a high span garage. In other words, a high one if you've got a four-wheel drive, or maybe, for example, having a garage. I didn't realise that car parking was an option until I moved to the city. And then also too, you then go and have a look at premiums where people say, hey, no stairs. And so I've actually worked out that if I could buy a property without stairs, with parking, with a place to put a sauna, I'd actually pay more for that than a property that I can't. And in my area in Balmain, when I drop off a car park, 80% of the listings disappear from the research on the websites. So is it important to know how much is a car park worth, or how much is relane access worth to someone, or how much, for example, is a high ceiling actually worth in making that property feel larger, even though it might actually be on a small plate? Do you think a lot of agents really pay attention to that level of detail compared to what maybe a buyer would pay? And if you can point it out, maybe that might be the reason why that buyer actually bids that one extra bid come auction day.
Big time. It's also knowing what negatives you're going to be up against and turning those into positives, and how you spin around that you actually believe in it. Like going to a conversation like that, like one in Military Road down the road, the one that we showed you a few years ago. We've got a brand new home there that's on 220 square metres of land, which is small, but internally it's 400.
Yes.
So we're talking about the internal square metre rates and the size of it, and knowing that sort of detail. These days people are calculating how they buy quite differently, I think, than what they used to, not only using comparable sales but square metre rates, and the build quality, how much they spend on a square metre, what the land square metre rate is in that suburb. All those things do definitely help you become more knowledgeable and better equipped to sell the house.
And you need to know what's happening in the area in the future. Like the new M8 just opened from Balmain, and straight out to the airport, you're there in 12 minutes.
I actually I go from Vaucluse to there. It's quick.
It's unbelievable now, the speed. But naturally, I didn't necessarily think about what that's going to do with property values.
Yeah, people probably don't even know about that, or even the new zoning that's happening. Changes in the eastern suburbs where you're probably great that you own a house outside the zoning because it's going to go up in value because everyone's going to want to buy those houses, get out of the development area. So, where's the map? Where does that zoning area finish? Or where's the school map finish? All those things are super important.
And I love that too, that somehow, how do you turn that objection into a positive? So, for example, Alex, next door, I see that there's a development plan there and they're going to be, building an extra story. Yeah, sure, but it's also going to be improving the quality of the types of properties that are in the street. And naturally, it's going to be lifting the values over that period of time. So if people are investing in there, it's actually a really good reason for you to be actually buying here. So really look about the unique benefits of why you're buying in a particular area and know how to actually go and sell it. And I love your idea about having a little questionnaire to go through with your owners to really get all those finer details and actually really understand the quality of the product that you're representing.
Super important.